Kashish Mumbai International Queer Film Festival is delighted to be part of the Kala Ghoda Festival 2021 virtual edition this year. Kashish has been collaborating with Kala Ghoda Arts Festival for the last 2 years, and this is the third year in succession. And really happy to be bringing a collection of 2 short film packages. One international short film package and one an Indian short film package. Remember, these films are available for 48 hours from the time the films drop in at the Kala Ghoda Festival website. Kashish Mumbai International Queer Film Festival, in association with Kala Ghoda Arts Festival, is proud to host a discussion about trans representation in mainstream media by bringing together actors and content creators to discuss how has been the representation of transgender women in feature films released recently in theaters or on OTT platforms. So we have a very, very eminent panel, and thank you all for joining in this panel discussion. So I'm going to just start introducing each of you. Ashish Sharma, who is a very, very well-known actor, and he has played the title part of KHD in the film KHD, which is a Rajasthani film, and is done a lot of film festival circuit and is going to be ready for release very soon. Thank you, Ashish, for joining us.
Thank you, dear.
And we have Rudrani Chetri, a very, very popular trans activist. She runs her organization called Mitra Trust, but that's not why she is here. She is here because she essayed the role of Anarkali in the very wonderful film, The Last Color, directed by Vikas Khanna. Thank you, Rudrani, for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And we have Pradipta Ray, a well-known filmmaker, actor, animator, professor of animation, who is joining us. Pradipta has made a couple of films on transgender subjects, but also he has been acting in some of their short films. But his claim to fame is a music video in Gangs of Wasipur, where he essayed the role of a transgender actor who danced on Electric Pia. Was that right? Electric Pia was the song, right? Correct. So welcome, Pradipta Ray. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Sridhar, for inviting me to speak.
And we have Benjamin Daimery, who basically essayed the role in the film Jonaki Porua, an Assamese film, where he played the title role. It's a beautiful film. We showed at Kashish 2020, and Benjamin won the Best Actor award at the Kashish 2020 festival. So thank you, Benjamin, for joining us today.
Thanks for having me here.
Ranjit Shankar, welcome to the panel discussion. Ranjit Shankar is the director of the wonderful film Nyan Merukutti, which is streaming on Netflix. And it stars one of the biggest actors in Malayalam cinema, Jayasurya. Ranjit Shankar, thank you for joining the panel discussion.
I'm in the middle of the post-production of my new film, and I'm in my car right now. So I wanted to be a part of it. That is why.
So I'm going to start off basically talking to, first of all, to Pradipta Ray. You've been working on transgender subjects for a long time. You know, you've made films like Raat Baki, you've made films like Eidi. So do you think things have changed in terms of trans representation over the last, I would say, 10 years or so?
Yeah, in the last 10 years, I would say that the trans representation has sort of changed in the mainstream industry, much more than what it used to be earlier than that. As in, at least 80s and 90s, it was hopeless. One felt really up to the extent of being hopeless. Earlier, the film industry was only catering to the masses, but right now we have several different platforms, so which sort of opens the opportunities for the filmmakers in dealing with different subjects and portrayals of portrayal of trans characters in a more positive or in a very realistic manner, not really playing to the gallery. And I would say thanks to actors who are brave enough in today's scenario to sort of like play those characters, because I think the mainstream industry is still way to go for the mainstream Hindi cinema, where big stars, male stars, portraying trans characters, unless and until it's some I don't know if one can use the word, extreme words like rubbish, like Lakshmi Bomb, a film like that. It's it doesn't really matter. I mean, these films, I mean, for me, it doesn't matter, but then for the masses, it matters. Unfortunately, they really have I mean, mainstream filmmakers, they really ignore the fact that they have a social responsibility as well. But they happily been ignoring. But then again, because the fact that there were not too many platforms and audiences, but now the audiences have changed and it is changing. So I think the portrayals are also changing.
Well, I just wanted to ask you, like, how did the role of the transgender dancer in Gangs of Wasseypur come about, and what has been the reaction for the performance of yours? I mean, it's just one of the biggest mainstream films, and you played a transgender part in that. So, how has been the response to that?
Okay. Okay. So, so happened that when I don't know, can I share the personal story
Of course, you can.
Okay, so it so happened that when Anurag was about to shoot Gangs of Wasseypur, just before that, I think friends and all, they told me that, you've been asking Anurag, whenever I'll meet him, I'll always ask him that, that एक sir एक item number चाहिए, huh? And because he happens to be friends, very close friend's brother, so often I would meet him and I'll always ask him. The first question would be like very jokingly that I need to do one item number because ever since I was a little child, I was a great Helen fan and I always wanted to do one Helen number in a Hindi film. I mean, a commercial Hindi film, like a Helen number. So I always used to ask Anurag very, very jokingly and not being very serious about it. But then what happened is when Anurag's sister was getting married and I was drunk at the reception and I was dancing, and then so happened that a lot of men, they were like throwing money at me. I mean, joking, it was just, people were having fun. And I think that was pretty much my audition for Gangs of Wasseypur. And then I asked him, so when he said that you really want to do an item number, I have this film which is to be shot in Bihar. Then I told him my experiences about the horrible stories of the trans performers, Londa performers in UP and Bihar who are from Calcutta. People loved it. So apparently, I mean, I don't know how much of this is true, but then I was told that the media, whoever had watched the whole song, they would be like, oh, it's disgusting, but it's fabulous. Disgusting as in, I think whatever the Londa performers go through, that was came through.
Okay, thanks a lot for sharing your story. Ashish Sharma, like, you've been an extremely popular actor doing very macho roles. With your played Ram, and you have played very macho roles. And so what happened? Like, how did you choose this film, Kejri? And I think you produced it yourself too. And what made you go and pick a subject like Kejri and make the film and act in it, defying all stereotypes?
I think it was just the story that kind of picked me or us, I'd read this story a long time ago. Then I shared it with my wife and we started working together on it. So she said, when she heard the story, she said that, that this should be our first film if you ever want to produce a film. And because the story was such. And then we went and met the writer of the story, short story, Ms. Kiran Singh. And she in detail narrated us what inspired her, the life of that one of her known person, which was the story was inspired from. And so it kind of it struck a chord. It's a very human story, and it kind of showed that it doesn't matter which gender you are, whichever, male, female, trans, whatever you are, you become how you are brought up. It's just that simple. and it doesn't differentiate with gender. It's just about upbringing and what you are taught. So if you are brought up as a girl, you'll behave like a girl. A child doesn't know that she's a girl or he's a boy or he's a trans. He's just brought up with certain values and certain things which are instilled in him or her. So, and they become that. So the story just talked about that. It's a human story, and you will become how you are brought up and what life throws at you as an individual. That's who you turn out to be. And I think that's what made us believe in the story, that we can tell a very human story and put out a very neutral perspective. And secondly, like I think we've also discussed a couple of times earlier, also here and there, that like a very nice topic Pradipta ji also picked up is that male actors from mainstream cinema should be brave enough to pick up such roles and portray them with sensitivity and not gimmicks, and not make fun of it, because there lies a certain responsibility, and apart from that there lies truth. There has to be certain honesty in whatever you are portraying, and we tend to get away from it. And many of my colleagues, many of my co-actors and film people around me warned me when we were trying to make this, that you'll destroy your career, and you don't do this, and why are you making this, you have such a macho image, like you said. So don't do this. But that made me all the more convinced to do it, because I think this is why, exactly because you're saying this, that's why I need to do this. And apart from all this, just selfishly as an actor, it was a challenge for me. Selfishly, completely apart from all the other angles to it, just as an actor, it was a big challenge for me to portray something which I have no context of whatsoever. Whatever I play, I have a certain reference point in my head. But for this, I had zero reference point. I have never seen a life like that ever in my life. I had never seen a life. I had no friends who were trans around me. So it was a completely new thing for me, and that kind of pushed me to pick it up and do it. I hope we did it sensitively.
Definitely, because I think it received a lot of good reviews, especially when we showed it at Kashish and a couple of other screenings where I've attended in Germany where we were together. So definitely people have resonated with your character and your acting per se. I'm going to come back to you later, but I'm going to jump to Rudrani right now. Rudrani, you basically say the role of Anarkali in the film Last Color. And Vikas Khanna says that, like, I would never take a person who wears a shirt and pant to act as a transgender character. So was it the only reason you are chosen, or because of your acting skills?
See how this character happened is one thing for sure, that he Vikas Khanna was very sure that he is not going to take any man or cisgender man for this character, and he's been searching for Anarkali all over this place Varanasi, because he was little worried about how he gonna pick somebody and bring that person to work in another city. But through friends of friend and connection, this happened, and I did not go to audition, because I run this bold modeling agency. Somebody called, a friend called Neeraj Tiwari. He called and he said, like, we need a trans person to be acting, and I took two people there, and I said, here they are, and they did their audition after having the dialogues. And Neeraj said, please do one for me. I said, no, I'm not interested at all, because I have this other things which I'm trying to, do. And he said, no, just do it for, fun sake, because you're spending a little bit time here and we're going to record it. And then he showed it to Vikas, and Vikas said, like, I want her. I don't know what made him choose me over so many people. But one thing for sure, he was auditioning a lot of trans people. He did not audition. As far as I've been going there, I saw a lot of other people who were from community there, but I did not see a man who was dressed up in a sari or, with dupatta attempting to be a trans person and reading dialogues. It wasn't his idea.
आप यहाँ क्या कर रही हैं?
तुम यहाँ कहाँ से आई?
हम तो आपको ढूंढते ढूंढते आ गए। 2 दिन से गायब हैं, कहाँ आप?
अरे क्या हुआ?
वो आपको ना आपको कल नूर से मिलाना है।
हम नहीं जा सकते कल। वो कल हमें नाचने जाना है।
It's a very late beginning though, but I think this is what the correct beginning is. And when we speak of even, the big stars doing, transgender roles, and then when they say they, they were brave enough to do this, I ask one thing: if they want to play Gandhi or they want to play Dhoni, they feel brave or they feel proud? I mean, I mean, when you say you feel brave enough, you so it means somehow you're showing that we are below. It's not it's equal way or we are above. We don't want that, but we want the equal recognition, as in work also, as in as in and gender representation also. And a lot of time, though there are big stars, big actors, they have totally screwed it up, and consequences are so bad. You can't realize there are people who face a lot of problems just because they hear something very silly, enacted by some person who's not at all sensitive towards a community.
Ashish, you want to respond to what Rudrani mentioned just now? Why did you say that you felt brave enough to do that particular role?
From their perspective or her perspective, it can be what she says is completely right. What she says is that you should be proud about it. You should feel proud to play that. But the world has different perspectives, and before coming to being proud about it, one has to accept that that you are wrong somewhere. And when you feel wrong about, I'm talking about men, I'm talking about them, I'm talking about society. If they accept that they are wrong somewhere, then they would be brave enough to attempt to give them equality and think about creating an inclusive environment. Unless you accept, there cannot be a second step. And accepting is what the braveness I talk about.
Thanks a lot, Ashish, for mentioning that. Ranjit Shankar, thank you for joining the panel discussion. So what made you do this particular film, Ranjit, and what made you decide to cast Jayasuriya per se?
Merikuti, I made a couple of years back. It was in 2018. Basically, I made it because I wanted to make a film like that for right from 2016, because I was never exposed to the community in that sense. And I was making a movie called Predam in 2016. It means the ghost. It is a horror film. So there was a particular actor, and her assistant was a trans person. And I was really fortunate to be that I got an opportunity to spend a lot of time with her at that time. And I felt they were much superior people than me or a lot of us, because the predominant emotion they have is love. And for us, it is jealousy. We want wealth, etc., etc. For them, it is a name, maybe a recognition, etc., etc. A lot of things. So I was deeply influenced by that subject, that a film should be made commercially, so that it should be released in across the world in theaters and people should see it, etc. So I wanted to tell that story, but I was not sure that if I can do justice to it, because it is a record that the film is being made, and it should not be a misrepresentation of the community. That's what I felt. So it should be a responsible move. And I was not sure if I'll be able to do it, and especially when I'm trying to make a film commercially. So I dropped the idea. Then I made some other films. And after another film, after a couple of three or four films, I was traveling abroad, and I visited a few countries. And actually, I met a lot of people who were actually from the trans community, and all of them were. I felt so strange that people can live such a good life as accepting their sexuality outside countries, in much lesser developed countries than India. They can be an advocate, they can be a tourist guide, they can be a prostitute, they can be a driver, they can do a lot of things. They can be a dance teacher, and they can be friends with men and women. They can live a respectable life. Here, unfortunately, it's not possible. At least in Kerala, it is not possible. So I felt that why? Because you can call a person, you can hate a person. Let's say he's a murderer. So there is a reason why you are hating him. In this case, there is no reason, basically. People are talented, but then they're not given equal opportunities, and it's not good for the civilized community. That is when I decided that I had to tell the story. So I had to make the film. So the story was woven around in such a way that it had to be a success story. So I was not interested in portraying reality. The basic idea behind making that film was, like I made it in 2018, and it is 2021, and a lot of Malayalis and people across the world have seen the film. So I want a situation in 2023 where if a father and mother realize that in their home, their son or daughter is, they have a trans issue, this film should give them the confidence to actually to live her life or his life. So that's what I want ultimately that film to do.
I am not a transgender. I am transsexual.
I just listened to the discussion which is happening right now about the trans person playing the role himself and the other person. See, when you make a commercial film, you have to make it viable. You have to make it in a budget. So a star comes in. I'm talking very frankly about it.
Yeah, sure.
You can make it in two ways. You can make it in a very realistic film that can go into a film festival circuit, etc. But that was not my intention. My intention was every normal people should see it, and they should understand what the film is trying to say. For that, for me, a star was essential. That is what my reply would be.
Fine. So in fact, Jayasuriya did a wonderful, he essayed the role so brilliantly. That's kudos to Jayasuriya per se. Again, somebody like Ashish Sharma, Jayasuriya is a very well-known actor, and he changed his whole persona to play a transgender character, and that's been commendable. And I hope that like both of you, Ashish and Jayasuriya, are not facing any backlash because of portraying the transgender character. I'm going to come back to you all again. Benjamin, sorry for putting you on hold for so long. Benjamin, your film Jonaki Porova is so brilliant. It's a simple story set in Assam, very positive ending, which Ranjit's film does the same thing. It gives a very positive ending to the film. How did this role come to you? What is the process? I mean, were you an actor before, or this is your first role? How has it been?
I was working with an drama theater team. So I was working there. It's from 2014, and at 2017 I got the role. Actually, I was just I was not hoping anything like I will get this kind of role or something like that. I was just I was on a vacation. Okay, so I was on a vacation. I got a call that, hey, do you want to audition for this and all those things? I was like, am I perfect for that? And they're like, no, we just want to do an audition, then we'll see. So I did the audition for 3 days. They asked me again and again, continuously. 3 days I have auditioned for the role. And finally, when I got the script, the final result that I'm finalized for the role. And when I when I see the script, I was like, okay.
Rami, Pinky, or Munni, আজি সকলোৰে মাজত জাহ্নৱীক আমাৰ গ্ৰুপত চেলা বনোৱা হৈছে সকলোৱে আসুল ধৰি হাত তালি বজাওক
Because for me, like, I know nothing about trans people. I'm a gay myself, but I know nothing about trans people. I have never been to closet, and come out is like no word for me, because didn't have to come out. My family knew about me from the very beginning. Okay, so I really didn't know about the trans people because I haven't studied about it. Because I know myself, I love myself, I don't know about it. But when I come to know that they have to struggle a lot, so much, and the Assam people, mainly in Assam people are not aware of this much. Nowadays, people are not connected to each other. They are more connected to social media. They are more connected to movies, web series. So it's very important in mainstream media that we should show what actually trans people suffer, what they have to suffer, and what they like, the family issues, the society issues. Even if you have a few percent of knowledge, like what is trans, what is gay, what is LGBT stand for, so we can have one-on-one conversation. But in Assam here, they actually don't know what is LGBT stand for, right? So we it's hard here to express your feeling, to publicly go out where for trans people. So right now things are changing because of the mainstream media, and because of also in Assam, because of the Junaki Porwa, people are understand, people are understanding. And I guess, yeah, so that's all. That's all. I got the role, yeah, and I'm with it.
Okay, fantastic. I just want to come back to Rudrani and Ashish. Your two films, The Last Color and Kejri, ends in basically a negative in death per se. Both the characters in KGD and Last Color, Anarkali dies. Anarkali dies because of police harassment, and KGD, the entire village, basically burns KGD down. So, what do you think of this particular aspect? Do you think only positive ending stories should be made of transgender characters?
I think the whole Anarkali was Vikas Khanna's imagination, or how maybe he ever spoke to somebody, or he was, because he wrote this book, and after from this book this movie has come. And when I was reading Anarkali, at the same time, what I do is I run a charity which is a community based organization. I talk to a lot of people every day who drop in. They're young kids who don't even know who they are at this point of time. So when from the beginning, from the first dialogue where this Anarkali says, "मेरे माँ बाप मुझे यहाँ छोड़ गए थे और तब से मैंने अपना नाम अनारकली रख लिया," till when she dies, I think there was a lot of reality was there, and whoever wrote this and did it, I think it was very important for people to know, because a lot of time transgender people die and nobody cares about it. Nobody cares about it. Even in the film, if you see by the end, this small little girl goes, and becomes a lawyer and comes back. But it was never about a transgender person mother. This police should be get arrested, or whomsoever the perpetrator. So it is something like it is the bitter reality, from police harassment to if you're a sex worker, then you'll be harassed by the police. If you beg, you'll be you'll put behind the bars. Like, he purposely, the policeman says कि हिजड़ों को भी jail में डाल दे क्या. So and when she dies and nobody is bothered about it, it's one thing, they want to cover it up for one reason, but there was no one person who came and said that I know this transgender person and I want justice for her. So I think in a way, it's not always about we have to do the sad stories. Of course, I think the film industry is going to be very open and accepting, and then there has been fabulous work you guys have been doing. So according to that way, I think we should make love stories now, a transgender falling in love, and singing song around these trees and doing different things.
Totally.
I'll be
I love
very
that.
happy, and I'll play the mother-in-law, someone there, because I don't fit anymore.
No, you can play the heroine too, for sure. What do you think, Ashish, about why was Kejri killed in the film? Could Kejri have survived, the village?
She did in the original story, and in the short story she did, but we consciously took this route because the whole climax was actually the whole climax is basically inspired bits and bits from real incidents from here and there. It's an amalgamation of couple of different real incidents that happened across India, and that's what it was inspired from. Uh, why we chose this route is because at times, we thought that you really need a big jolt to wake people up. You need to stir them up from inside and tell them this is who you are, and you show them the mirror that this is what you do, this is who you are. Now it's see, we cannot change people by preaching them or telling them, oh, everything needs to, it can be a fairy tale ending and everything will be fine in the end, and you need to be sensitive and lovable and this and that. You need to tell them this is the kind of a monster you are, this is what you do. And when you show them this, maybe one person will wake up and say, I don't want to be this person. So that's why we chose that route, and we showed the whole village there, and we didn't spare anybody. So it kind of included the whole, it kind of represented us, what we do in real life, and you need a big jhatka to wake up. It's a wake up call, and see this who you are, and see what you do, and see how you behave, and see if you can be a better person. And I think that was the idea behind it.
Perfect. So Ranjit, like your film, basically, do you think like Jayasuriya playing this particular cop, kind of can inspire more transgender persons to come out, or families to be more accepting, and maybe like have their child educated and try to find a vocation for them?
I hope it does, but I think we are still far away from it for our society to accept this alternate sexuality of our kids or others, and to accept them as colleagues or friends. It's not easy. It's going to take time, and I hope it happens someday. And but I think what should happen in terms of how I see. I see a future. I would like to see a future where it is a Salman Khan film, and his friend is a trans person, or his advocate is a trans person. The film need not be about the trans person, his struggle and everything, but I would like them to do roles which other persons does. Then that is how this thing should grow and happen. That's what I feel.
It's the same thing. Like, I mean, why you have to have an Indian actress only play an Indian character in a Hollywood film? Priyanka Chopra has broken that particular mold, and she's playing characters. It's not necessarily an Indian character. So similarly, I mean, transgender actors or transgender characters should just play regular characters per se. But the time is still far away, I'm sure. Pradeep, you've been making
no. I did not mean a regular character. I'm
talking about transgender characters.
I am talking about a Dabangg 4, where Salman Khan's buddy is a trans person.
I mean, transgender person is a lawyer or a friend, and need not be focused on her life per se, her angst, her story. That's what you're trying to say, and I think that's very enough. That's the way it should. All the films should go per se. Pradeep, like you basically have been making LGBTQ films over the last decade. So what has been the challenges for you to find money?
Up till now, I mean, most of my films, all my 3 short films, most of the money is the surplus money that I had been able to sort of like create a surplus budget, I mean, money from my earnings. And I have been making through that. I think digital platform has made our lives much easier, that you don't really need a film camera, right? You can go ahead and shoot a film with a DSLR camera. So that ways technology has improved the whole realities of filmmaking and made it more. I think there has been a certain democratization in the whole process of filmmaking. So that has helped. Things have changed now, but getting finances is still I think it's still a bit of a problem. I mean, certainly there are people, I mean, smaller production houses who are sort of like coming ahead and investing in LGBTQI plus themed films or content, but it's still very less, like but then again, mainstream, the problem, again, it boils down to the sellability of the film. So without the stars, it is still very difficult for a film or a film project to sell. But then, thanks to the OTT platforms and several other platforms, it is becoming easier. But still, as Ranjit had also said, that we still have a long way to go.
Ranjit, do you think OTT platforms help in maybe visibilizing or creating more different stories, like LGBTQ stories, trans stories?
See, one thing is what strictly a personal opinion. When multiplexes came, everybody thought that is primarily to support independent cinema, because you cannot have a 1,000-seat theater for an independent cinema. So if there is a multiplex show, it can give more screenings to independent cinema. But then what happened? See, everything is commercial. That's what I feel. Nothing comes for free, because somebody is investing in a project means he's actually not, doing any charity work. He wants his money back. So the multiplexes which started with the idea of supporting independent cinema actually has become a big money earner for commercial cinema. What happens is, when a big commercial film releases, it screens 1,000 shows every day and it makes more money. I feel the same for OTT platforms. They say that it is for independent cinema, but look at the kind of films that is being screened in major OTT platforms. How much do they pay for independent cinema? You look at the kind of original films they've acquired from Hollywood. Oh, not forget Hollywood, from Bollywood. They pick just commercial films based on star cast and put the money on them. They give huge money without asking anything. And when you try to make an independent, different cinema, they want to go to the nitty-gritty of everything and every word and every sentence and everything. And when you have a star involved, no questions are asked. When there is an Amir Khan, it is 500 crores. When it is Shah Rukh Khan, it is 250 or 300 crores. It is as simple as that. So I don't think making your kind of films has been easy in the past. It is easy now, and it will be in the future. There's always going to be a struggle. You need to fight out your way out and make it.
Independent cinema will always have a niche audience. It will never have a mass audience. And I think for that, OTT is a boon because it kind of gives a widespread audience to you, and that niche audience gets to see it, gets to see your product, your story, and also you can kind of recover a certain amount of money out of it. Because even if you release it in theaters and independent cinema, it rarely recovers its money, and you have to invest more in releasing. So it's a whole different kind of ball game, and it kind of only backfires at times, I suppose, for indie films to release it in theaters. But I think OTT is a better option in both the ways, to reach out to the audience also and to recover your money also. The business prospect is also better, and the other way around is also it works. I think it definitely is a boon for independent cinema and films like smaller films, basically.
I've always been asked, why do not have more transgender actors playing transgender parts in films? That's a constant question at every panel discussion. And I always say that, I think we don't have enough transgender actors who are trained to act. Rudrani and Benjamin, do you think we need to have acting schools for transgender, specifically for transgender actors?
Thank you for bringing this up. And I think it is very important to understand. So, for example, if we this is also important and very difficult to answer, because I have acted in a film. A lot of people really appreciate it, though I did not go to any acting school, and But if I really want to take this as my occupation and a one thing where I can get my bread and butter, I have to be very sure of it. Because maybe one Vikas Khanna was courageous enough to put me in his film. What next? Transgender can be something I mean, I'm saying with full conscious and with understanding. For people, they maybe it is, if one transgender person becomes gets so many work, and that this transgender person is known as actor, then it becomes a sense. But if every time even a single actor is only seen as a transgender in film or any kind of a product, then there will be a problem, because I think there will be no repeat for anyone. It will be for Last Color one Rudrani, and from another project there will be one. But if Rudrani is seen as an actor, then why not she be only Anarkali, and by the coming 10 years she be with 10 million other names. So that's when I can vouch for it, that a community should, as it is, there is so much of struggle. It's not a very easy thing, though we enjoy the light and the glamour, the interviews and everything and the praises, but it is struggle. It's difficult. Shooting is difficult, and being part of the whole thing is difficult. Your commitment and everything, you have to be very strong about it. So as being a very responsible person, if a trans community, a transgender person really wants to want to come in this profession, he or she should be very I think I don't know, but should get job. That's it.
For me, portraying a character is different, and being someone is different. We can be someone in our real life, but portraying a character in a camera, it's really different, because we have to learn a lot of things. We have to, like, from technical stuff to acting things, so we have to learn a lot of things. As an actor, we are professional liars. Okay, so we are liars. We lie about stuff. So it doesn't matter you're trans, gay, or what. We lie about that. I was not Jahnavi, but I was playing the character of Jahnavi, right? So we are professional liars. So I think, yeah, if someone have passion and if someone have the ability to act, yeah, they can. And if someone really think that I really want to get into this industry, or I really want to get I want to be an actor, yeah, but the professional courses are not bad.
Can I add something?
Sure, please do that. Yeah.
I think trans or not, a lot of our stars also need to get trained.
That's true.
So with respect to this, I think that's there.
Kashish has been working with Actor Prepares, Anupam Kher's Actor Prepares. And we have been, every year at Kashish, we have been doing acting classes for the community, not necessarily just the trans community, but the LGBTQ community. We have having acting workshops, and we want to just build upon that and have more acting workshops for the LGBT community specifically, so that they're more prepared as learn more technicalities. I mean, they have their inner emotions already there, but how do you portray those emotions technically on camera is something definitely they have to be trained. As you said, everybody has to be trained. So thank you all for joining in for this conversation. It's been brilliant. And as all of you have said, we are actually going through a tremendous phase of change, per se, where trans inclusion in the society has come about. And how do we translate that trans inclusion in the community, in the society, to media, per se, is a challenge here. And what Pradipta said, we are basically talking about trans women primarily in the panel, but we need to be more inclusive of trans men and non-binary and so many other identities within the LGBTQ spectrum. I'm sure all that will happen for sure. So thank you for joining on this panel discussion of Kala Ghoda and Kashish. I really appreciate. Best of luck and bye-bye. Thanks everyone who has been watching this panel. And you can always come back and watch this panel until the end of the festival on the video on demand section on Insider, where the Kashish films and the panel discussion is being broadcast during the festival. And of course, please go and watch the films, the Best of Kashish short film packages, Best of Kashish International and Best of Kashish Indian. You can find the links on our website, MumbaiKoyaFilmFest.com, or on Kala Ghoda Arts Festival website.